Yes, good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to Understanding Your Child course. Understanding the Child You Have webinar. You're welcome. If you're online, signal, or whenever you come in, just type hello. If you're a first timer, also type I am a first timer. You're all welcome to your course. So before I would like to introduce myself. Remember, whenever you come in, just tell us hello. Introduce myself so we can go quickly. We'll try to finish within 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, my name is Amarachi Eze. I am a family life coach and the founder of Jordan Family and Parenting Wisdom Academy. It's a coaching platform where I work with couples in their early stages of marriage who are navigating their early stages of marriage, but navigating through family life issues. So I help them establish resilient systems for handling family issues and also building a loving calm home. Yes, that is what we do in Jordan Family, at least early years of marriage till 10 years. That is what we do. So quickly, we're going to be going in. Remember, we have limited time, 30 minutes. Understanding the child. I'll be showing my slide now. Okay, when you see my slide, let me know. Yes, it's understanding the child. It's for us to know. Yes, you're welcome. Tell us where you're joining us from. I can see you. You're welcome. Just give us a shout out. Okay, you can also tell us where you are joining us from. We're streaming live in Port Harcourt. Okay, we'll quickly continue. So to be unfolded. To do all sorts of things. We want our children to inborn in them, they already have some natural traits they came with. They came with their strengths, they came with challenges, they came with weaknesses. So we're not to mold them into what we want them to become. Unfold. And as they unfold, we're able to understand their personality, we're able to understand their strengths and the challenges which they face. Then as parents, we will now help them out through this challenge. Then another thing you will need to know is that there is no good or often to hear parents label a child as either good or bad based on the child's behavior per time. No, that is a wrong labeling. You don't label a child based on the child's behavior. But a child is interpreted as either good or bad based on the following reasons. So let's also see some reasons why people interpret or a child's behavior. The first thing is individual differences. I told us from the beginning that every child is unique with their own personality, their own strength, and also their own weaknesses. So most of us already know this. Yes, most of us, we've heard temperament. You have the choleric, you have the sanguine, you have the melancholy, you have the phlegmatic. These are the 4 major temperaments. But we will not be going into that in details. If you want to know more about that, you will go and read the book, Why You Act the Way You Do, by Tim LaHaye. Then also, I made a video, I think last year, in understanding your child more. Yes, I made mention of the strengths of children, strengths of each temperament and their weaknesses, and how you can help your child. But today, we're not concentrating on that. So okay, I said we will not be concentrating on that. Then another thing we should know is that oftentimes parents tell a child as either good based on the child's behavior per time. A child is interpreted as good or bad based on the following reasons. The first one we talked about, individual differences. We talked about the child's developmental stage and also parenting and environment. So these are the things that affect your child's behavior per time. So when it comes to individual differences, we talked about the challenges. But then what we may consider could simply be a manifestation of that individuality. You see, a sanguine will always heal. It doesn't mean that behavior is bad. No, bad. We consider that to be bad, and that is actually a manifestation of the child's individuality. So stages, each with their own challenges. For example, a 2-year child, the emotional will handle this tantrum at this stage. The female child is always more calmer, more compact. As in the female child comport his or her child will always comport herself. It's always everywhere, it's scattered. This reminds me in my home. I have 2 boys and a girl. The boys keep scattering everywhere. It's noisy. In the yard where I live, most of them have comportment. I said, oh God. But I'll quickly tell myself, remember you have boys. And that will help me. Then also, another example is that by 8 years of age, you see these boys, 8 years, there is a testosterone surge. And this surge makes them, it makes their behavior to be a different one. You see them, they want to challenge you. You see them, they want to talk. So his attitude, it's not a bad child, no. But the child is going a phase. You see that? But our responses to these children at these stages can either make the child learn or damage the child. So you see, all this attitude they exhibit is not that the child is bad. Neither will we say the child is good. But our responses to these behaviors and to these children facing these challenges at this phase will determine if your child will act badly or your child will behave nicely. So another thing we also need to note is parenting and the environment. A child's behavior is heavily influenced by their upbringing. both the environment and the dynamics within their family. Behavior, either okay, can we hear me? See the let me quickly check. Oh, hope you can hear me. Okay, I'm trying to change my network. I can see this is not stable. Okay. Okay, I think the network is a bit better. Please, in case you can't hear me, let me know. Okay, let's quickly change the network. So, I don't know if... Okay, let's continue. I believe it's much better now. So I was talking about parenting and environment. And I said a child's behavior is heavily influenced by their upbringing, the environment, and the dynamics within the family the child is being raised. So a child behaves either good or bad based on the child's experiences, how the parents or the caregiver handle the experiences, then its impact on the child and the environment the child was exposed to.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's keep on.
How are you today? Well done. Beautiful girl. A beautiful girl. Well done. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. So sorry about that. I had an interruption. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay, what do I mean the environment a child grows in, how it affects the child? For example, a child lies, and you have parents A and parents B. Parents shouts at the child, tells the child, shouting tells the child not to repeat sin. Sometimes you may hear the parents. Sometimes you may even hear the parents, oh, children of God behave this way. It's okay. Then you have another parent B, and the same thing, the child loves. But what parent B is going is that parent B connects with this child. Parent B wants to discover, oh, what happened? Why is this child behaving this way? So parent B is able to discover, oh, my child lied because maybe I've been telling you I'm having high expectation from the child. And because of that, the child don't want to feel, oh, I failed my parents, I failed my mom, I failed dad. And because of that, the child lied. So that you see that the child but wants to still hold, I want to please my parents. So the two reactions. The first child, the parent shouted, child may have taken note, but most times it's not always effective because you didn't find the underlying reason why this child lies. Then the second parent was able to connect with this child, understand, oh, this child wanted to please me. That was why the child lied. And the parent was able to say, oh, that was always said, learn something through that process. So factors such as the parenting style we choose, economic status, very important, that can affect the child's behavior. Then exposure of trauma from both the parent and the child have significant impact on your child. So lastly, to further establish that there is a good child, or we're going to be using this parenting. Okay, we're using the parenting quadrants. It's a cycle of 4 divisions. The first division, the first quadrant, quadrant A, is the seed, and the seed is to establish there is no good or bad child. So the seed owner, who is God, hope you can hear me. Hello, please let me know you can hear me. Okay, so as I was saying, I think yes, the network is a bit stronger. The seed owner is God, and God is always a perfect God. Then quadrant B, you have the seed, and the seed here is the child, who is neutral. The child is neither good or bad, it's neutral. Then you have the third quadrant, quadrant C, you have the seed handler, and the seed handler is the parent or caregiver. Most times that's where the problem lies. And also the seed environment, which has to do with the societal culture, which has to do with the family culture where this child is being raised, and also the religion where the child is being raised. So the issue is actually in the quadrant C and quadrant D. So we say the quadrant C is the seed handler, which is either the parents or the caregiver who raised the child. Sometimes you see parents are struggling with different, their childhood experiences, how they were raised affects their parenting. So the struggle with their childhood experiences, the unresolved traumas they have from childhood, even some of them are facing relationship problems. So they are all struggling with all these things. And all these things, most times, will affect the children they are training. And most times they pass this trait onto the children. Then the fourth, the quadrant D, which is the rights, the environment. So the environment has to be right. So most times the right environment have not been properly built as the right system that will produce the right outcome. Yes, all of us also want to have children that behave well, that know how to thrive in any place they find themselves. But then we need to make ourselves the right seed handler for us to make our environment also the right environment so that we'll produce that right outcome which we need. So that is what we do most times in our consults. We help families to establish the right family culture and systems in their homes. We help you establish the right family culture, the right systems in your home in relation to the kind of seed, the right outcome which you want to produce. So if you want your children to behave like kings, we will help you plan towards that. If you want them to behave like stars, we will help you do that. So that is what we do. So by becoming the right seed handler, you're going to produce the right environment for your child to thrive. So quickly, this established the fact that there is no good or bad child. So the environment, which the individual differences will determine how your child will behave. The parenting and the environment which your child grows through in will also determine where your child, how your child will behave. And also the developmental phases in which your child finds him or herself will also determine how your child will develop. Quickly, we're going to look at the lens through which children view the world. I remember in physics, you have your concave lens, you have your convex lens. Concave lens will make you see things to be bigger, to be magnified. While convex is going to what? Make it what? To look tiny. Things you bring closer to you, it makes it look what? Smaller. So this is how also these children view the world. They view the world differently from adults. So our ability to understand these children is going to help us. So the more we understand the children, we can help and also support these children. So what are the different ways children view the world? One, you need to know that your child is evolving. Children are evolving. So they are trying to understand the world and discover themselves. They want to discover the world around them. Their brains need a lot of excitement for them to learn, for them to grow and develop. So that means they need play. So, okay, before we go into play, we're going to be looking at, I'm using an example of a butterfly and a hen. The life of a butterfly begins with what? Just an egg. So from egg, it metamorphoses to become a larva or a caterpillar. Then also from that phase, in the phase of the larva or caterpillar, what it does majorly is to eat and to grow. Then from caterpillar and larva, it becomes pupa. And in this pupa stage, mostly it doesn't move, it doesn't eat. It just uses the energy it has produced in the larva stage to what? To transfer to a cellular phase. And from that stage, it grows and becomes a butterfly. Are you seeing the stages and what happens in between all these stages? So also it is for children. Then if it happens to be a hen, a chicken, the life also begins with an egg. When the female chicken lays the egg, it has to what? Incubate it for 21 days. So in that process of incubation, the egg receive warmth, receive care, receive love from the mother. And from there, after 21 days, it hatches and becomes chick. From a chick, you see as tiny as it is, it keeps following the mother, learning one thing or the other. Then from there, it also becomes a hen. So this is also the process our children go through, and we need to understand them. So that is why at that childhood age, you see them, they keep playing, they play a lot. And the problem now with our society is most times you don't want your child to play. That is going to affect the child. Play is very important for your child's mental health and development. You also see most schools, when it's break period, they don't allow their child to go out, their children to go out to play. Oh, this is going to affect the children. What it does is that maybe the first time after they finish playing, it builds up anxiety. So when the child is supposed to go out to go and play to dispatch energy, the child is indoor. Maybe when the child makes too much noise, the teacher out there, no noise making. Oh, that is going to what? Affect these children. We have a scientist by name Peter Gray. He's a psychologist. He argued that for kids' healthy development, creativity and learning, time in the playground is more valuable than time spent in structured classroom activities. You see that? Let me say it again. He said for children's healthy development, creativity and learning, time the children spend in playground is more valuable, is more important than that time spent in structured classroom activities. So you see why we need to allow these children to have a playtime. I didn't say, okay, they should play all the time. No, there should be a time stipulated, okay, this is time for the children to play, be it at home, be it in school. Why? Their brains need excitement. Their brains need activation for them to learn the world around them. So this is also going to help them. You can't, the importance of play to a child cannot be overemphasized. What of the health aspect? Some of us, you keep your children indoors as they are growing. Before you know it, they'll be having bone problems. Why? They did not move around when they were young. A research says that a child who does not play will do what? By the time he's getting old, will go down with arthritis. Why? You do not allow the bones to develop. So another way we can see how children view the world is that children are innocent and they are neutral in their thoughts, but they are immature and require skills. Yes, very important. Children in their thoughts, they don't at all, in their thoughts or in their actions, they do not want to hurt the parent, as some of our parents will think or feel. Sometimes you hear parents say, oh, this child is not going to kill me. I think recently I heard of a parent complaining to the teacher that the child is being wicked to her. No, your child will not deliberately want to hurt you as the parent. So whenever we use this statement, it's always unfair to the child, because sometimes some of them, it gets into their head, it affects them, they are hurt. And sometimes because of that statement, the child wants to do it more. So children will not want to hurt you. It's just that they are immature in their behaviors. And this immaturity is because their brains are still what? Developing. So their brains are still what? Developing. So that is why you see them, most times you see them act out, you see them, they throw tantrum, but they don't know the best way to communicate whatever it is that is happening to them. So as adults, as parents, instead of us seeing how bad a child has behaved, it will be wise for us to step back, think, oh, what is the need behind this behavior? Why is my child behaving like this? So for instance, we see sometimes a child may be feeling sleepy or is feeling hungry, and the child is restless, is throwing tantrums. Maybe the parents have tried to pacify this child. After everything, the child is still disturbing, and before you know it, the parent will just beat the child. And when you beat the child at that time, the child maybe cries. After crying, you see the child sleep off. So with this, you have not taught the child what the child needs to know. Oh, you're feeling sleepy, you sing for the child. Before you know it, the child sleeps off. But when you hit that child at that time, what the child has experienced is a bad feeling. And this will complicate the brain process. It complicates the whole issue for the child's brain development. So lastly, we're going to be looking why our children misbehave. Children can misbehave due to various reasons, not because they are good or not because they are bad. So why do children misbehave? One, they are feeling bad and they lack skills to behave better. Yes, that is good. Your child is feeling bad. That is why the child is behaving like that. So what should you do? You will need to what? Uncover, oh, why is my child behaving this way? What is the need that my child is not able to communicate and the child is behaving that way? Then you help your child. Then the next thing is that your child is seeking attention. I told us last week that the best gift you can give to your child is your presence. Your child needs your attention. If you also notice, you see children, most times they want to chase especially the mother. Anywhere the mother is, you see all of them, they line up to follow you. Why? They are seeking attention. So they will even prefer to get negative attention than not having it at all. So that's how children seek attention. So your child may be behaving because you have not given that child attention. Then the next reason why children misbehave is that there are no clear limits or they are testing limits. So sometimes we give children instructions, maybe due to their learning style, they did not understand your instructions. Think last year, understanding your child course, we also talked about children's learning style. So your child may not, it could be that the child did not get the instruction. Maybe the child is an auditory learner, and maybe what you just said it verbally. The child did not code that, so did not get that instruction. So it wasn't clear to the child. So with that, the child will not do what it is you asked him or her to do. Or it could be the child understood, but he or she wants to test your limits. Oh, is mommy going to do anything? It's mommy going to do anything? Or will mommy, once mommy have said it, or once daddy has said it, is final. So your child may be testing limits. Okay, I can see you. Okay, ma. Oh, that's good. Then for others still joining us, you're welcome. We're almost wrapping up. It's 30 minutes. Okay, so let's continue. I said your child may also be what? Testing limits. He wants to know, oh, when mommy says a thing, is mommy going to carry it out to the letter? If mommy carries it out the second time, the child will also want to test limits. But if you don't carry it out, the child will know, oh, when mommy says a thing, mommy is not serious about it. So testing limit could be why a child misbehaves. Then another reason is that the child is imitating others. Yes, your child may have seen a behavior in school, at home, maybe playing with neighbors, on television, and your child wants to what? Behave that way. So it could be that your child is what? Imitating others. And also you're also a role model. Anything you're doing, your child is listening, your child is learning. So it could also be your child is learning from you. Then the next reason why children misbehave is that they want to show independence. Yes, sometimes when children are growing up, from 2 years, their brains are open to learn. So from that 2 years, they want to be independent. That's where you see when a child, you want to put on a child's clothes, a child said no, he wants to do it himself. And you know perfectly well that the child at that stage cannot do that. But the thing is that just allow the child will struggle with it. With that struggling, he's learning. But at the time, you tell, oh, mommy, please help me. Then you help the child. Another day, the child still wants to do what? To do that thing by him or herself. So the child is showing what? Independence. Then also for teenagers, as they keep growing, they also want to be what? Independent. They will not want to what? Mom is every time you want to know what I'm doing. So your child misbehave because they are showing what? They want to show independence. Then lastly, sometimes some of them may have mental health challenges. You hear of children with autism, children with cerebral palsy. Sometimes it can be little. Then when you notice how they behave, you know they're not behaving like a normal child to an extent. So when you notice that, the best thing is what? Visit the hospital instead of beating the child. So these are the reasons why children misbehave. So we have spent 33 minutes. So we'll be wrapping up here. We'll be wrapping up. So if you know that there is something, at least there is something you got from what we did today, can just put it down. If you got value, say, yes, I got value. Let me know you really got value. Okay, so, and also if you got value, I would like you to share this link. We want other parents to know about it. It's a free class. So share the link for other parents. Then I would like to give us an assignment. Thank you, blessed Curse. God bless you. Thank you for always being here with us. Okay, so I also like us, so I will be giving us an assignment. If you have not read the book, Why You Act the Way You Do, it's important you read it. And when you read it, I would like you list out your child's temperament. If your child is sanguine, write it out. You write the child's name, child A. The temperament is sanguine. Then when you write sanguine, then list out the strengths of a sanguine. Then also list out the weakness of a sanguine. It helps you to know where your child is struggling. And it also helps you know the strength of your child so that you can be able to to make your child, you congratulate your child for having those good qualities. And also the other ones, when you see your child exhibiting it, know that your child do not really want to behave. That's the temperament, that's the weakness in that temperament. And you don't emphasize on that weakness, you emphasize on the strength. Then if there are skills you will need to help your child to develop based on those weaknesses, you help your child in that area. Then also, I told us we did a video last year on understanding the child, understand the learning style of your child. It's still under understanding the child course. So you can also look for that video. And before you get it, you need to subscribe to our channel so that you'll be able to see all the videos we have. So when you see it, when you subscribe, you will see that understanding the child, your child course. Then listen to it. It will help you to discover the learning styles. So with those learning styles, you're able to know, oh, does my child understand better? Do I need to write? Writing is for auditory learners. They want to see it. If you need to draw a picture of that thing you want to teach them, draw it. They want to see it. If your child is a visual learner, okay, visual is to write. If your child is auditory, your child wants to hear it. And sometimes auditory learners, they also want to what? They hear it visual, they want to what? Visualize it as it's being written. They are creating pictures out of those things that are being written, and it makes sense in their brain. Then kinesthetic learner, those ones need too much activities. So with that, you can get it. So that is it. Then also, lastly, there is something is scrolling underneath. If you want to join our consult, then you will need to send us a chat. Want to begin next year with training about 20 parents who want us to hold their hands to be able to build family systems, family structures in their homes, and also to help them with their parenting, with the things they will need to know on parenting. Here, we'll not just come and teach, we'll give you practicals. There are workbooks that will help you put structures, put systems in your home that will help you at every stage in time, or at every point in time, you know what to do. So lastly, we're going to call it a day. But before that, let's remember our next class. That's next week, Thursday. And the topic says, for next week says, when do I know my child is ready to use a smartphone? So if you have teenagers, this is also the time to come around. If you have a child, some of us will hand our children phone 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Yes, the age may not determine. But if you want to know when to give your child a smartphone, then be sure to be around next week, the same time, 2 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us. I value you. I value the time you always make out to be here. I don't take it for granted. Thank you. Thank you, Kes, for being with us. Thank you, Adan Naya, for being with us. Yes, Kes, thank you. Looking forward to next week class. Thank you. See you. I love you. Bye. Then please, if you have any question, you can put it in the comment section. Then you're also in the WhatsApp group, or you send me a chat. I think the WhatsApp group is locked. So just send me a chat or put it down if you have a question. I will tackle it. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely day.